I'm coming on to share, I trust, a vibration of love and purity and light. Not the love and light brigade, but just a genuine appreciation for the souls who are stepping into their calling, our calling. Those of us who are on a mission, believe we're on a mission, regardless of however anybody else interprets that, is we hear what we need to hear from Spirit or Mother Gaia or God or whoever you resonate with, Spirit, ancestors. And if there are those of us who I believe we're on sort of also gridwork and have been called and placed in areas in the world for certain activations or things to happen, even if maybe we've now had a divine detour and might be moved out of places, there is a web of light and activations happening now that is just so strong. My mind just gone past on the clock. It feels like I've got King Arthur coming through, I've got the Merlin lineage, I've got like Lionheart, Rastafari movement, I've got many ancestors talking, not from my culture in this lifetime, Mau, various warriors who have worked to defend land, love, life in their own way across the ages. And it's hard to concentrate now because there's a lot of different spirits, different realms in my consciousness, because I've spoken to a few sacred souls today globally, which is really special. You know, Kenya, and someone who's just is not for me to share his story, on a mission and is currently in Italy, and someone else in another part of the world, and just here locally is like there's these light activations, or there's this heart, deeper connection to our heart, right, cracking through barriers and limitations that have been imposed on us by either society or so much, or self-imposed. And what I'm finding quite amazing to see is how many people are turning the victim mentality around. They are working through suffering and challenges. It's really, like, especially if you trigger people with a light or a different mission in life, if you're triggering people. And I've heard some difficult stories, yet when I interact with these souls, I feel the light, I feel their purpose, I feel their intention, I feel their impact and influence positively. And you know, we can't just bat away pain or bat away challenge, you know, with the water off a duck's back. That maybe will happen at some point of mastering ourselves, which I don't know if that happens at my age, or 15 years after awakening, or 2 days before we pass over this realm. But we getting to grips with things in a more aligned way. We're getting better with boundaries. We are knowing really what we can put up with and what literally just depletes us. A friend of mine on the phone today mentioned energy vampires, and just being aware of how crucial it is to just watch out for our mental health right now, spiritual health, for our protection, which we are, especially living in love, that's the natural default, that's the protection. But just to deflect anyone else who just can't see us, you know, is committed to misunderstanding us, or, you know, explanations or multiple questioning of like where we're at, when the phrase of the week that I've heard from different people is like, be here now. Presence is going to root us in a highest timeline because of the focus that it brings, because of the pushing away of distraction and illusion. We're focused, we're present. There's nowhere else you can be when you're so rooted in your reality. And we have vision, we have dreams, we are in a limitless mindset. But the deeper we can lean into presence right now, especially with, if we so believe, 7/7 portal days right through to Lionsgate, is Gaia's resonance, elemental realms, messages for growth sometimes come in uncomfortable packages, and but as part of healing the nations is, you know, we're generational curse breakers, or we're doing things in our lineage differently. We've been assigned certain things, if we so believe, maternal lineage, paternal, whatever, but we've all got, those of us that believe, got these missions unfolding right now. These I just really can see this web, feel it. I can feel like something's just happened this past couple of days, and everybody who I know who is conscious with their words, or like conscious with their living and life, and not in a preacher way, not in a we're perfect, but as in, I'm going to live life without the imposition. Why is that coming through? Without someone saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, someone else might have can'ts in their reality. Oh, I think that was the battery, 733. But you can be standing next to somebody and live in a completely different reality. So why would somebody else saying you can't do this like affect mine, when I've got a different blueprint, I've got a different mission, I've got a different makeup, I've got a different motivation, I've got a different purpose, which is all just as valid as and worthy as each other. But if someone doesn't want to see that or believe that, or hear me for the words I'm saying, because they're hearing through a, you know, wounded filter, I gotta say, see you later, adios, because there is nothing better to preserve right now than mental health, spiritual health, guarding the wisdom inside, because we know what is aligned with our own blueprint. I'm not going to have the solutions for somebody else, but by me sharing my own solutions and how I live my life, or sharing my story, which is what my friend was saying on the phone. He's like, you just can spark someone in someone else to share their story with you, and then that exchange of truth, of authenticity, of love, of no mask, no facade, it's joyous, it's fruitful, it's abundance. It's, if you ever see that person again, who knows, but you meet them on the road, you have a chat, you share love, and then whatever, bada bing, bada boom, you've got to depart or move on, but you've shared a magical moment. And I can really, really feel magical threads, potentially the red threads coming through a lot, the karmic, again, not negative, like karmic soul, karmic contracts, karmic connections, over attachments. They're being invoked. What is that word? I think there's some people also working with some strange energy, but whatever. That's not for us to deal with. That's for their own story. But yeah, I've got too many words in the brain right now. But basically, I'm giving thanks to genuine love and light I can feel from, I believe they're grid workers, people that I've connected with tonight, because it's just global, it's collective. Obviously we have our personal issues, yeah, we will have our personal issues, we have our personal stories, we have our personal missions, but this awakening, ascension, whatever is happening is really being felt, and I'm proud and I'm happy for those of us who are surviving and thriving and overcoming and open to the mystery and to the unfolding, despite the challenge and pain. You know, we're not living in that challenge and pain, we're moving through it, you know, temporarily. Like, things will shift. You know, the day we sow the seeds is not the day we suck on that juicy mango. So just got to keep on keeping on and give thanks to those of us. There's 222 on the clock here, I think. Give thanks to those of us who are really like honouring ourselves, honouring our bodies, honouring our wombs if we're women, hearts, rest, listening, not performing, just being truthful, like inside and out. The ripple effect is beautiful. And so, yeah, pray for more of that. And I trust we will overcome. I don't live in a perfect utopia world where everything is golden, but the golden world, 1, 2, 3, 4, it does exist. There might be that duality, even though some people don't believe in duality anymore. But oh, I've got that rosal on. Anyway, it's too many tangents now because there's many things coming through me. So yes, give thanks, keep shining, keep rising, keep loving, and rinse and repeat, really.